Alright, I guess I'm live. Check the dashboard. Am live. Cool. Now I'm for sure live. I don't know when it technically started. Alright, loudmouth liberal here. Watch some Prager University videos and respond. God damn it. Alright. What's holding the Arab world back?
My bad.
It's all good.
The judo competition of the 2016 Olympics in Brazil, an Israeli heavyweight judo fighter named Or Sasson defeated his Egyptian opponent, Islam Shabab.
Shit, I can't get that to stay. Oh, maybe if I... No. Okay, guess I'll have to just do this.
They must be from the Blue Man Group.
I look pretty blue.
Well, the guys in the videos too.
Oh yeah, they are. They are quite blue. Oh shit. Alright, that's better. Alright. So anyways, one guy beat Egyptian opponent. Is that Egyptian flag? I thought that was the Syrian flag. Guess maybe that's Egyptian. Ooh. Wait, it's sliding into the abyss because he wouldn't shake the Israeli's hand?
Is that really all it takes?
I guess so. I mean, the right wingers like worship Israel and like they're always right no matter what they're doing.
It illustrates how hatred of Israel and Jews corrupts every element of Arab society. You won't find this explanation in the Arab world's decline from journalists and academics.
So yeah, he's literally just saying it's declining because they're criticizing what the Jewish people are doing and what Israel's doing as a nation, which is setting up illegal settlements and bulldozing people's homes. So
They reflexively blame the usual suspects, some colonialism, the Sunni Shia sectarian divide, and every other argument practice is a victim. For them, hatred of Israel is treated like sand here, and just part of the landscape. And the fact remains that over the past 70 years, the Arab world expelled virtually all of its Jews, some 900,000 people, while holding on to its hatred. Over time, the result proved confusion, a combination of Western capital, expensive wars against Israel, and an intellectual life perverted by conspiracy theories and the perpetual search for scapegoats.
yeah, I don't really know like too much on exactly what he's talking about. I know there was a lot of problem with like the Muslim world and Western education, but I'm not sure.
These problems are a problem of an Arab mindset, and the name of that problem is anti-Semitism. As a historical phenomenon, this is not unique. Historian Paul Johnson has noted that wherever anti-Semitism took hold, social and political decline almost inevitably followed.
I don't even know like necessarily what to say to this except like
It's not true.
the Israelis are don't view the Palestinians as human or as fully having full rights. So it just seems to be playing the narrative only of one side.
Just a few examples. Spain expelled its Jews in 1492. The effect, Johnson noted, was to deprive Spain and its colonies of a class already notable for Eastern and finance. Tsarist Russia, the adoption of numerous anti-Semitic laws
Jewish people. Like, what the fuck did they do?
Who?
I was always against the Jews.
Yeah, I know. They definitely have been one of the most hated ethnic groups in human history. But how is that the one thing that's holding the Arab world back? I mean, if they got along with the Jews, like you'd have to convince Israel to also get along with them. That's like what we've been trying to do for fucking ever. So I don't see it as beneficial as just being like, oh, you're just anti-Semites. That's why you hate. That's why you're being held back. It's like, no, it's a little more complicated than that. There's a lot of actions back and forth.
Maybe he'll get to those points.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope he gets to it.
Germany might well have won the race for an atomic bomb if Hitler hadn't sent Jewish scientists like Albert Einstein and Edward Teller into exile in the U.S.
That's true. He wasn't very smart about that. He had the best scientists. Like, he would have easily won the Russian-U.S. space race if he wasn't trying to like gain land constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These patterns were replicated in the Arab world. Contrary to myth, the cause was not the creation of the State of Israel in 1948. There were bloody anti-Jewish pogroms in Palestine in 1929.
What are pogroms?
I have no idea.
Let's look up what pogroms are. Find my mouse. Fuck. Oh, it's specifically used when non-Jewish people attack Jews.
That's.
Well, specifically in the Russian Empire
Okay.
and in other countries.
I mean, that's.
But it's still, that's interesting that that's their specific word for it.
But proms still exist today.
Pogroms?
Yeah.
Do they?
Well, I guess we're not wreaking havoc against Jews anymore, but.
Well, I guess the Palestinians kind of are, but I don't know. That's kind of just a back and forth.
Yeah.
It's not like Jews within a country, that have massive violence against them. It's kind of almost like two countries.
Yeah.
Iraq in 1941 and Libya in 1945. Nor is it accurate to blame Israel for fueling anti-Semitism by refusing to trade land for peace. Among Egyptians, hatred of Israel barely abated after Prime Minister Menachem Begin returned the entire Sinai Peninsula to Egypt. And among Palestinians, anti-Semitism became markedly worse during the years of the Oslo peace process. Johnson called anti-Semitism a highly infectious disease capable of overwhelming intellectuals and simpletons alike. Its potency, he noted, lies in transforming a personal and instinctive irrationalism into a political and systematic one. For the Jew hater, every crime has the same culprit and every problem has the same solution.
But like, you definitely don't have to be a Jew hater to talk about the problems
Right.
that Israel is causing in the larger disagreement.
Anti-Semitism makes the world seem simple. In doing so, it condemns the anti-Semite to a permanent darkness. Today, there is no great university in the Arab world, no serious scientific research, a stunted literary culture. In 2015, the U.S. Patent Office reported 3,804 patents from Israel as compared with 30 from Egypt, the largest Arab country. Hatred of Israel.
Well, we do have a massive alliance with Israel, so it makes sense that we're allowing them to do a lot of that technology kind of stuff here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it's anti-Semitism that's causing it, but there's just definitely a problem with anti-intellectualism in the Arab world.
For sure.
But you might be able to argue that it was kind of caused by us in the 50s, fighting the godless communists and
Yeah.
and even still by supporting Saudi Arabia and the massive Salafi state. So
And Jews has also deprived the Arab world of both the resources and the example of its neighbor. Israel quietly supplies water to Jordan, helping to ease the burden of Syrian refugees, and quietly provides surveillance and reconnaissance capabilities to Egypt to fight ISIS in Sinai.
but isn't this the West Bank that they're coming in and just like bulldozing people's houses and setting up illegal settlements that go against the treaty?
This is largely unknown among Arabs, for whom the only permissible image of Israel is an Israeli soldier in riot gear abusing a Palestinian. Successful nations make a point of trying to learn from their neighbors. The Arab world has been taught over generations only to hate theirs. This may be starting to change.
Hate makes you dumber.
Hey, what?
Hate makes you dumber.
I guess, yeah.
The Arab world has been forced to face up to its own failings in ways it cannot easily blame on Israel.
Right, so why are you blaming all the failures on their lack of looking to Israel, for example?
The change can be seen in the budding rapprochement between Jerusalem and Cairo, Riyadh, and Abu Dhabi. But that's not enough. So long as an Arab athlete can't pay his Israeli opposite courtesy of which the disease of the Arab mind and the misfortunes of its world will continue. For Israel, this is a pity. For the Arabs, it's a calamity. I'm Brett Stevens.
I'm Brett Stevens. Fuck the Arabs.
Yeah, fuck the Arabs, because they hate Jews. It's all the problems that their Jew hatred. Alright, let's see why America's so rich. I mean, how do you measure the prosperity of an economy? Like, if you measure it by growth, then China is doing better. But
growth per population per capita or something.
probably that'd probably be the best way per capita.
But how did it happen? There are many answers, of course. One is that the United States values the free market over government control of the economy.
Sort of. We lived in a mixed economy, so things
Yeah.
like roads and I have a bumper sticker that says like hate socialism, stop using all these services like police, and it just has a shitload of them listed out. So I mean, we should value the free market over government control of the economy, except in circumstances that we need, like everybody needs access to the service. So we don't live in a purely free market by any stretch.
But here's a point that is subtle made. It didn't begin that way.
Well, you could have said it just leaves more free market than government control regulations or whatever.
Yeah, but then you're kind of just drawing an arbitrary 50-50 line.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I mean, I think that's generally fair to have. But I mean, I think you would end up with more percentage as being free market, even with tuition free college and and single payer healthcare.
Placed its trust in the free market. It trusted the government to make business decisions. Or to put it another way, only after the government failed repeatedly to promote economic growth, and only after private enterprise succeeded where the government failed, did the United States start to develop a world-leading economy.
What? Do you have any idea what he's referring to?
No.
When we founded the United States, they tried government control of the economy. Like what?
What's he referring to?
Yeah, they
What
were
kind of regulations did they imply?
they were businessmen. They they worked with iron or whatever and had apprentices. Like there were thriving businesses that like that was during the Industrial Revolution. So is he gonna tell us that that was all like, oh, we tried government process once? It's like,
Once, 200 years ago.
yeah, and it's like when the fuck was that? What happened?
Let's look at three telling examples. In 1808, John Jacob Astor formed the American firm and marketed the American furs around the world.
Okay.
Europeans
But
adored
they had been doing that since before 1808. They were trappers all over the United States, selling shit, trading it with Indians or natives. So yeah, it's ridiculous to be like, well, it started when this guy created a fur company in the early 1800s. It's like, no.
beaver hats for their peerless warmth and toughness. Astor gave them what they wanted. Instead of leaving the fur business to capable entrepreneurs like Astor, the government decided it wanted to be in on the action. So it subsidized its own fur company run by a self-promoting government official named Thomas McKinney. McKinney should have won the competition. After all, he had
So they propped up a fake, or not really even a fake, but like a supported competitor to try to make some money.
federal government backing. But while Astor enjoyed hundreds of millions and still made a tiny profit, McKinney's company lost money every year. Finally, Congress
Well, that's why you shouldn't subsidize like fucking clothing, because if you're losing money, if the government's losing money because they're subsidizing clothing, that's generally a waste of money. If you're not making money, but you're taking care of the fucking people that need healthcare, it's not generally a loss, although it's a loss financially. So yeah, the government should not be in control of luxury items or even just like basic. I mean, maybe some basic necessity items could be argued that they should be subsidized
Like
for
fuel.
poorer people. Yeah, maybe fuel to get back and forth to work if somebody's just getting a job, you know what I mean?
Or a
Like
first-time
during an
car
unemployment period, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Subsidize like basic necessities,
buyer. Uh-huh.
toothbrush, soap, shit like that,
Yeah.
maybe. Um, but not like an entire company. But wouldn't this be the argument against the United States subsidizing all this corn and all the defense companies, defense contractors and stuff? Isn't that the exact same argument that works? But these guys would be supportive of that. They're like, oh, we gotta defend our country.
Yeah.
But
Want to feed everybody.
yeah, corn. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like that's what people mean when they refer to corporate welfare.
in 1822 came to its senses and ended the subsidies for McKinney and his associates. A similar situation.
So that situation didn't work out because they were fur trading, and the dude wasn't smart with the company that was running it, and he ran it in the red every year. Like, okay, but that was some asshole running the company. It had nothing to do with whether it was being subsidized by the government or not. Like, if he was being subsidized and he was a good person to be running the fur company, then he'd be
Right.
making money. It's like, no, you picked a shitty person to run it, so that's not even a great argument against what he's trying to make it to be. And I think that's an interesting conversation to have too, whether the government should have control over like the telecommunications. It's like probably not. Maybe some regulations on like pricing,
Yeah.
like price ceilings, maybe. But they should still be careful with that. So But let's see what he says the problem is.
But the government steadily lost money each month in operating the telegraph.
But now one of the problems is that people try to get servers as close as possible to the New York Stock Exchange, so that they can do flash trading in like matters of seconds, and just make a couple pennies every second on all these different companies that they're not really investing in because their money's not there long enough to actually do anything for the company.
Yeah.
So it's really just like scamming the system, and so we definitely need government regulations on like internet and stock trading, because the more money that you have, the more likely you can get the information before everyone else by a matter of split seconds, where computer algorithms are automatically like, doing the trading for you.
40 miles of line in 1846 to 23,000 miles in 1852. By the 1860s, the U.S. had a transcontinental telegraph line. And by the end of that decade, entrepreneurs had strung a telegraph cable across the Atlantic Ocean. Why didn't the U.S. government profitably use what Morse had invented?
Let's see if he gives an actual like competent answer about why it wasn't run well, or if it's gobbledygook. Let's see.
Part of the answer is that the incentives for bureaucrats differ sharply from those of entrepreneurs.
That's true. Like it doesn't matter. They're getting paid regardless of if the company does well or not. But I don't think, even with healthcare, I don't think anyone's for government-run hospitals necessarily. That's kind of how they have it in Britain, but in Canada, it's individual doctors and practitioners and everything that the province subsidizes under federal law in Canada. So, like, they shouldn't be running any business, really. It's just, like, the financial structure, depending on how important it is as a society, and how beneficial it will be as, like, college educating your populace. Bureaucrats shouldn't be the ones, like, completely running it all. But, that's more the financial side that the bureaucrats should deal with.
When government operated the telegraph, Washington bureaucrats received no profits from the messages they sent. And the cash they lost was the taxpayers, not their own. So government officials had no incentive to improve service, to find new customers, or to expand to more cities. But entrepreneurs like Ezra Cornell, the founder of Western Union, did. Cheaper, better service, more customers, and more profits. Just 15 years.
I feel like this is a decent argument against communism. Like, oh, the government shouldn't run like everything. Like, a lot of stuff is gonna do better faster. Like, technology is gonna advance faster if you put it in the hands of people that are making money and need that for their livelihood.
After Congress privatized the telegraph, both the costs of construction and the rates for service linking the major cities were as little as 1/10 of the original rates established by Washington. In the steamship business, we see the story repeated yet again. During the 1840s, regular steamship travel began between New York and England. The government placed its bets on shipowner Edward Collins, a man more skilled in political lobbying than in business. While Congress funded Collins, Cornelius Vanderbilt started his own steamship company. Vanderbilt cut the cost of travel, filled his ships with eager passengers, and built a fabulously successful business, soon leaving Collins in his wake. Collins failed because he didn't feel a need to improve, or even provide safe and regular service.
Yeah, see, again, this is all decent argument against funding failing businesses.
For example, two of his four ships.
I mean, it's the other guy had a successful business. I guess when it just was birthed by the government, it was failing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you just can't have government subsidizing things or something like that, or government create their own business.
Yeah, I mean that's not really gonna work. Like, there's got to be like a profit incentive, like an incentive structure for the people that are highly involved in the top decisions. You know what I mean?
Uh,
But again, that's for like luxury shit, like moving around, like taking boats and shit.
Ship sank, killing hundreds of passengers. If he lost money, there was always another politician to appeal to.
Like, I haven't heard anyone in the United States like saying that we should like make all the airlines public and, you know what I mean, run by the government, or like any sort of like transportation run by the government. Other than like, I mean, I guess there is like public transport, but you still have to pay for it, and
yeah.
it's not like just purely tax based. So I don't think anyone supports that.
Vanderbilt, in contrast, had to serve his customers, or he would have lost his company. You'd think we would have learned our lesson by now. Economic prosperity comes from free enterprise, not from government subsidy.
See, I don't think anyone says that either. No one says that like government subsidies are gonna create economic prosperity. Like, government subsidies help businesses that are beneficial to the common good,
Yeah.
that don't necessarily have a decent incentive structure or a moral incentive structure, like healthcare. But you know, none of the arguments are based on like, oh, it's going to be economically prosperous.
But it's a lesson we have to learn every generation.
See, a lesson we have to learn every generation. He's implying that like young people that tend to lean towards social programs just don't understand how economic prosperity works. But it just seems to be a big straw man of the actual argument. All right, I'm gonna take a little break. Mute the mic. No. Well, I'm the loudmouth liberal, and I fucked up. The stream was private. Now I put it on public. I'm taking a break. That's when I realized this shit. So, yeah.
Loudmouth rules.
I'll be back in about 5 minutes, probably.
Loudmouth rules. Pretty new at this.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, I'm muting my mic again. I just saw we have one watcher. I had this shit on private, so no one could see the stream. I'm taking a break. We'll be back in a sec. All right. Alright, the next Prager video is, are humans more valuable than animals? Seems like a stupid question, like somebody's actually going to be, like...
Interviewing a monkey.
Interviewing a monkey?
Yeah, I was like, hey, do you think we're better than you?
Ask a monkey whether we're better.
Yeah. Like, I think there should be more of us.
Come on, even if he says no, no, monkeys are better. Like... Or you should be like, no, fuck you, we can talk and shit. You're the first one that's ever talked. Or you just hit a button. You stupid monkey. But, like, anyone's gonna be a vegan and then be pro-murder or anything like that. So.
Are you more valuable than a dog? Or a cat? Or, for that matter, a tree?
I mean, valuable to who? Like, to corporations, of course. Like, what do you mean valuable? How do you measure value of living things?
You gotta ask like a Native American spiritual guide or whatever.
Maybe that's what he would say. It's like, there's no value in living things. Living things are just living. I don't know. I don't know what he would say.
All life is equal, man.
Yeah.
We're all the same thing.
You're the same thing as my cat.
No, I'm no greater or less than your cat.
All right. You're no greater or less than the cat.
I'm no greater or less than the tree.
Christian values and secular values concerns this very issue, the worth of the human being.
I suppose, like, I mean, secular human values don't necessarily have to put things in a hierarchy, just because. I mean, you can with secular values, you can describe how morals came to be evolutionarily, and that's more objective. But then the more subjective part is determining like what the morals actually are and drawing those boundaries. But there's better ways to do it than Judeo-Christian, like based on the Bible. It's way better to set up a system of morality that's based on well-being, overall well-being. Sorry, I'm a little sick.
Why are you saying spiritual well-being doesn't count?
Well, what's the spirit? What's the spirit?
Like the Judeo-Christian values, your spiritual well-being.
Yeah, but like, how can you have spiritual well-being? Like, what is my spirit? How do I know if my spirit's doing well?
Jesus will let you know.
Jesus will let me know?
Yeah.
Okay. I used to ask him a bunch. He never told me.
It's okay. He didn't tell me either. I was told he only tells you in the book. I never read the book.
I knew, like, most of the shit in the book. And I was just like, I don't know how to put all this, like, together. Like, I mean, I knew, like, I knew all, like, the basics of, like, you know, what the church teaches about how to put it all together.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of holes.
Still a lot of holes.
Yeah. So I guess, I don't know, I'm kind of getting onto, like, why I'm an atheist. But briefly, like, I don't know, I forgot what I was going to say. And now the long story's popping in my head. I don't want to tell the whole long story. I just took dabs, so pretty high, so I forgot. Oh well, let's move along.
To the Judeo-Christian value system, human beings are infinitely valuable.
They're infinitely valuable, so automatically it beats every other system. And they get the automatic win. Like, where does it say that they're infinitely valuable? Wouldn't that make them equally as valuable as God?
Yeah, right.
Think you fucked up, Daniel Prager, or whatever the fuck your first name is? See, this is the actual dude that's, like, the Prager University. Oh, it wasn't you that couldn't remember, it was my brother. On, like, a couple videos back. Oh, Dennis Prager. I knew it was a D.
On the other hand, secular humanism devalues the worth of humans.
Whoa! It says that secular humanism puts it less than even trees. Like, wouldn't it be equal? Wouldn't, like, your argument against them, like, oh, they say humans are just like animals and plants and stuff. It's like, now he's gonna argue that secular humanism...
Like, let's find out why he makes that claim.
As it may sound, the God-based Judeo-Christian value system renders humans infinitely more valuable than any humanistic value system. The reason is simple.
How do you measure such a thing?
I don't know. And how do you know it's infinitely more?
Yeah.
No God, human beings are only material beings.
Like, if anybody is actually doing that math, they probably wouldn't have the comfort to say that it's infinite. They might say, you know, it might be infinite, but it's like, whatever number you come up with, how can you ever tell what's infinite? If it always gets bigger, you might be able to assume that it could possibly be infinite, but just to come out right and be like, nope, we know it's infinite. Like, obviously, like, it's not logically based or anything.
And therefore not worth anything beyond the matter of which they are composed.
I mean, that's not true because, like, secular values and secular humanism, like, human ideas are a major factor. So it's not just material things. It's just things that are real.
But in the Judeo-Christian system, created in the image of God, that human life is sacred. In other words, we are either created in the image of carbon atoms, and therefore not worth much more than carbon, or we are created in the image of God, and therefore infinitely valuable.
Like, I don't know, he was saying as valuable as carbon. Like, carbon, it depends on the form. If you get black carbon, it's not worth much. If you get diamonds, it's worth quite a bit.
Or if you get humans, they're worth less than dirt.
Our secular post.
But again, it just brings up the question, valuable to who? Because, again, there's some humans that are, you know, worth companies paying like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So that's a value system that you can actually like look at and weigh out. Like, how much is your labor worth?
Like, viewed morally among other humans, I guess.
Yeah. But again, he was saying less moral than like plants and animals. So that's not even compared to other humans.
So, like, we gotta kill ourselves for the safety of our planet. Because nature needs us.
That's
to
what
die.
secularism teaches.
That's what it
Kill
seems
yourself.
like.
Christian society has rendered human beings less significant than at any time in Western history. First, the secular denial.
How are we less? How has our society made us less significant? How does that even make sense? It just seems like he's moving on, but maybe not. Maybe he's the first means he's explaining the first thing about it.
Human beings are created in God's image has led to humans increasingly being equated with animals.
So basically, just because we deny your claim, this is your conclusion, and that's pretty much like the only thought that they put into it.
Because, like, if humans don't treat yourself like gods and like each other as gods,
Look how angry he looks.
we must be like the animals. I don't know, man. Pretty sure like adults are just like big children who think they're sophisticated, you know. Like, I don't think we're like, you know, way better than animals. I don't think we're like that equal to animals either.
Yeah. Yeah, like like the relation between like. See, I don't know. Like, I feel like killing someone, like murder, basically murder, or when someone like can't feel it really much, is a little different than like killing an animal that can't feel it much. You know what I mean? Like those seem very very far apart to me morally, but then like torturing one and killing it at the end, it seems a lot closer
Yeah, for
between humans and animals. So, I mean, I think that should play into it. I can't even put my finger on why necessarily that is.
Well, like,
Because obviously at the suffering end, they seem similar. But why is it that they seem so far apart at the non-suffering end?
because like if you're killing like an animal, you could probably do it in self-defense, or if you're hunting, you're like doing it because you need to. You're not doing it because you're like you enjoy the pleasure of taking life, you know, like torture.
Yeah, that's true.
Torture, like, I love giving pain to living.
Well, no,
things.
I was talking about the difference between killing an animal with no pain versus killing a human with no pain.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like there's something, I don't know, maybe it's something like, you know, there's something against cannibalism, even though it's like super common in the animal world.
Like, I don't blame the human if there was like no other food source. And if you're like, oh, my friend died recently.
No, we're not talking about. Okay, I don't want to go off on like the cannibal rant. I was just talking about the actual killing part.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. It depends on like what for. Why the human for like both for like the human and the animal, killing the human and the animal.
Yeah. Well, for the animal, it's just because you're gonna eat it.
For the human, it's because like you have something against that human.
Yeah, I guess that makes the difference.
I got you. So
I guess.
if we kill another human because we're a dick, or we can't settle our difference and we're both dicks or something like that. If we kill animals, we're like, oh, I just need to eat it.
Yeah. And our society is based around our species, so that plays a huge factor too.
Yeah.
And the fact that we could talk,
Uh-huh.
like have higher thought. There's something about that too, I guess.
That's why, over the course of 30 years of asking high school and
See, we already sat here and came up with a decent reason that humans are at least legally considered higher value. You go to prison for a long, way less time. Like Michael Vick was like torturing the dogs that didn't want to fight and shit
Yeah.
like that. Like he didn't get very much time, but if they were humans, he would have gotten a shitload of time.
Yeah, I know, right? He would have never seen the light of day.
Yeah, he probably would have gotten the death penalty, depending on the state, or just shanked in prison.
college students, if they would first try to save their dog or a stranger, 2/3 have always voted against the person. They either don't know what they would do,
2/3 of who? Wait, what? High school and college students?
30 years of asking high school and college students if they would first try to save their dog or a stranger, 2/3
Oh, their own dog or a stranger. I don't know. I guess it's kind of a hard one to. I mean, but you're clearly like setting up the distinction, which I guess is is definitely interesting at looking at like moral gray areas and stuff. But it is surprising that 2/3 would say that and that this obviously isn't like if it was a test of like the actual results, or if the people were being completely honest, then I could believe that. So maybe they were being just like completely honest, like fuck that person, I'm saving my dog. But I feel like dogs have more of the natural ability to swim.
Yeah, no, I was thinking like all animals are naturally born how to swim, while humans aren't really.
Yeah. Now, if it's like a little dog, I can understand. Like they can't really swim well because they're all fucked up from interbreeding and being bred particularly small and shit.
Yeah.
birds have always voted against the person. They either don't know what they would do, or they actually.
Oh, so they put one that said I don't know. So he's just lumping the I don't knows and the one for the dog together to come up with that 2/3. So that just seems dishonest to me. Like I want to see the actual breakdown that specifically voted that they would save their dog over a stranger, rather than just be like, I don't fucking know.
Vote for the dog. Many adults now vote similarly. Why? There are two reasons. One is that with the denial of the authority of higher authorities, such as religious teachings, people increasingly make moral decisions on the basis of how they feel. It's just
Well, I wouldn't. I don't defend that either. It shouldn't be based on feelings. It should be based on the objective consequences that your actions have.
Or how you hurt other people's feelings.
Well, that's not how I feel about it. That's sort of an objective reality about other people.
Yeah. Alright.
But then you also, have to weigh that out with Like, is the information more important than their feelings?
I don't know.
About everybody
It depends on the
feels more
situation.
for their dog than for a stranger. Many people simply choose the dog. The other reason is that once you get rid of Judeo-Christian values, there's no reason for elevating human worth.
But how do you know, like, those... How do you know what percentage of those people are Christians that they've been asking? Well, it was like most of the... They said they've been doing it for like 20 or 30 years, so... Probably a good... Whatever, 80% of them were Christians. Since...
Probably.
Over that of an animal. That's why people estranged from Judeo-Christian values, including many Jews and Christians, support programs such as Holocaust on Your Plate.
What? What the fuck is that?
Holocaust on Your Plate is a campaign developed by the animal rights group People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, that teaches that there is no difference between the barbecuing of chickens in America and the burning of Jews in the Holocaust.
Yeah, I mean that's PETA. Like they're pretty far left,
I mean, like,
but I don't think most Americans hold their views.
oh no, we do that because it feeds us. Just like Nazis did that because they were dicks.
Yeah, because they're like, we think you're causing these problems that aren't really caused by you, so we're gonna kill you and dispose of your bodies. But we're like, this is gonna be some yummy ass chicken.
Yeah, I know. This is gonna taste great grilled.
Why? Because a human and a chicken are equal worth.
Yeah, most people disagree with PETA on that.
So too in a notorious Tucson, Arizona case, a woman screamed to firefighters that her 3 babies were in the burning house, thinking that the woman's
Doesn't like it just an atheist that eats meat and like doesn't have a problem with it? Is it like isn't that the the example against his argument? Because it's like they've rejected Judeo-Christian values, but they're still like, no, I'm gonna still eat animals.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
were trapped inside. The firefighters risked
It's almost like he's arguing that like all atheists are vegans,
Uh,
their lives.
or at least
The
vegetarians.
woman's 3 cats. If you think
Did he punch her in the face?
no, well, like in the video he did, but I don't think he did in real life.
Well, I know those are the cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoon did.
Yeah.
these 2 examples are either
Like-
just theoretical,
What?
the dog stranger question, or extreme, the Tucson mother of cats, is an issue that is neither theoretical nor extreme. More and more people believe, as PETA does, that even if it would lead to a cure for cancer or AIDS, it would be wrong to
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the experiments. Like, as long as they're... I don't know.
Or if they have to go to extremes to become immortal or something. Like this rat is immune to cancer and other toxins as well. He reverses aging at the age of 10 or however old mice get.
Yeah.
But they have to go through like dipped in acid or whatever. And they have to be tortured for a year.
I feel like we should just be able to remove those parts of the brain.
Really.
Just like, if you're gonna end up feeling a lot of pain in this, but like, we're not like measuring the pain, like that's not what the test is about.
Uh-huh.
You should remove that center of the brain. That'd be a cool way to go about it.
Then we should test on naked mole rats. They don't feel pain.
They don't feel pain?
Yeah.
How do you... Oh, that's crazy.
Dude, yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Naked mole rats don't feel pain.
to experiment on animals.
Is that a naked mole rat there?
It looks like an ordinary rat. They got like big buck teeth.
Oh yeah, I guess my vision was just fucked
In
up.
fact, Many animal rights advocates believe that even to save a human life, it would be wrong to kill a pig to obtain a heart valve.
I don't think very many people would say that.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know a
pretty
single
sure-
person that would say that, and I know
I'm pretty
a
sure
few
that
vegans.
guy's like, please sacrifice this pig and let me eat it afterwards.
Yeah.
Use my heart. You know, you its heart so I can live to eat it.
It's the circle of life.
Yeah.
It's the circle of the technological life.
The
Of heart
20th century
transplants.
showed vividly what happens to human worth when Judeo-Christian values are abandoned. Nazi Germany and the very
They didn't reject Judeo-Christian values. Nazi Germany was, like the soldiers had like a religious like quote on their belt about God with us or some shit. Like in, Hitler was aligned with the Catholic Church, and said that he was doing it for Jesus and stuff. So
various communist regimes all rejected Judeo-Christian values.
see, they always throw in Nazi Germany with the communists, but it's totally not fair to do so. On the religious front, at least.
And ended up slaughtering the largest number of people in human history. For Nazism, Jews and members of other non-Aryan groups were
And gay people, who it was irrelevant which race you were.
declared worthless and murdered in the millions. For communists, human worth was determined solely by communist parties, which murdered tens of millions of people.
Which means that it wasn't a communist country, it was an oligarchy.
Only by rejecting Judeo-Christian values could Nazis declare Jews, Slavs, and others subhuman.
No, they used, I believe he used the Bible to do so. Hold on, we need to look this up.
Weren't there like witch trials under Christians?
Yeah, that's true too. All the European witch trials and burning at the stake, and then like the Salem witch trials and the hanging.
What about the Crusades?
Yeah, and the Crusades and the Spanish Inquisition. I'm pretty sure it's in Mein Kampf, like, he's talking about how, like, evolution's bullshit. Even though he was a social Darwinian, like, he believed in, like, I think he talks about how microevolution's real and macroevolution's bullshit, like, that dividing line that's like, kind of arbitrary and hard to pin down when you ask them about it. So it seems like it was beneficial for him to be a Catholic as well, within the German government. But he writes about all this positive stuff about Christianity. think it was up here somewhere.
What is it, Judeo-Christianity?
That he like drew a parallel between like his militantism and Christianity's rise to power in the Roman Empire. He talks about like the creator of the universe and stuff. He was definitely a religious guy.
Only by rejecting Judeo-Christian values did communist regimes slaughter those they called class enemies. Individual human life meant nothing. Meanwhile, human slavery was abolished only in the Judeo-Christian world.
But it was argued in the South by using the Bible to justify the slavery. Because the Bible doesn't ever condemn the slavery. And God actually like tells you how much slaves are worth in like shekels or whatever. Or
Really?
And of course,
what?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and like women are like half as much as men.
Jeez.
It's like 5 and 10 or something like that.
So God literally says, like, yeah, women aren't half as much. Doesn't matter what kind of dude it is.
Well, I think like older people are worth less and children are worth a little less. There's like several different prices in there for slaves.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
as for nearly all those who reject Judeo-Christian values, the human fetus is worthless if its mother deems it so. Finally, there is an increasingly vocal part of the environmentalist movement that also denigrates human worth.
I'm not sure that a woman having an abortion considers it worthless. Like, I mean, some do probably, but you know, it's worth compared to its like the I guess some of the burden on the mother, but and also like the quality of its life. Like, there's a lot of factors that go in rather than just like how the mother views a fetus in general.
For these individuals, the human being is not infinitely precious. Trees and rivers and mountains are. So, are you more valuable than a dog or a cat or a tree?
To who?
That depends on your value system. I'm Dennis Prager.
I don't generally assign like just arbitrary value hierarchies to living things.
I don't know, I think I'm biased for humans.
Yeah, I
So
know.
I can't answer. Alright.
But aren't we all biased to humans? Aren't you saying that we just can't have that conversation ever?
Now we gotta find those mentally diseased people who think like I am just as hard as the universe as the universe is part of me, and have only those people have that kind of conversation who isn't biased for humans. Like, I don't know, sociopaths or something.
I mean, it's like furries definitely can't be involved because they're gonna be biased towards animals.
Yeah, right.
I guess not furries, but other kin.
Yeah. Naturist or whatever.
Yeah.
Alright.
So yeah.
Yeah. See you later.
Case for a flat tax.
The American Revolution started as a tax revolt over a single tax on tea. Now look at us. It seems like everything we do is taxed. The system behind these taxes is a bureaucratic monstrosity, a dead weight on the economy. And it erodes our trust in the government that's taxing us. If you have enough lawyers, lobbyists, and loopholes at your disposal, maybe you can game the system. That's fine for big corporations and wealthy individuals. What about the small business owner with a middle-class taxpayer? He just has to shut up and pay up. Nothing illustrates the disaster that our tax system has become than the mother of all taxes, the federal income tax code. This tax alone, all its intended rulings and interpretations, is estimated to be about 10 million words and rising. Several years ago, Money Magazine took a hypothetical family's finances and gave the numbers to 46 tax preparers. 46 different estimates came back. In some cases, those differences ran into the thousands of dollars of what the family owed. This from experts who are considered to be the best in the business. But the taxes themselves are only part of the cost of this toxic code. There's also the cost of compliance, the time, money, and effort it takes for Americans to prepare their taxes. A George Mason University study.
Okay, hold on. This says a case for a flat tax. I mean, so far I'm with them other than the title. But a case for a flat tax? The complications of our federal income tax code have nothing to do with the fact that there are tax brackets. Like, I shouldn't even have to say that. Like, you can fit the tax brackets on one page. There's not 10 million words because the tax bracket system is so complicated. No, there's a whole bunch of other shit. So if this is your whole argument, it's bullshit. It's tiring, and it's not even addressing a point.
The annual cost of compliance as high as $378 billion, and the total annual economic cost, including work hours, at more than $600 billion. Again, these are annual costs, as in every year. That's a lot of money that can be used in more productive ways, creating new products, new services, new medical devices, new cures.
Okay, this is where I'm going to stop and talk about how I do agree with what he's talking about as far as simplifying the tax system. And a lot of that is getting rid of the loopholes and that they can game the system by hiring all those lawyers and using... the more money you have, the more money you can save on your taxes. Pretty much what he's getting at. And that's pretty true. So let's simplify the tax code. Not by getting rid of tax brackets. That's not going to simplify anything. It will simplify some things, but it's not going to... Doing that alone is going to do nothing to solve the problem that he's discussing.
Clearly, the time has come to drive a stake through the heart of this tax monster. So what should be done? Like most things, the best solution is the most simple. A single flat tax with no deductions, except for a deduction for each adult and for each child.
Why can't you have tax brackets with a single deduction? And like nothing else.
Fill out a sheet of paper, or key in a few numbers on your computer, and you're done.
Yeah, you could do that with a basic tax bracket system too.
This one change would not only make every citizen's life easier, would also transform the government, our economy, and our society by ending the complexity that gives bureaucrats and politicians so much power. They have power because they're the ones who dole out the tax favors. It wasn't always this way. There was a time when corporations primarily lobbied Washington to keep government out of their businesses. That has changed.
I mean, when was that? Like, obviously, if they see an advantage, they're gonna take it. They're gonna use it. So when were they like, no, stay out of our business, even when it's beneficial to us?
Atlantic, evolution of business lobbying from a sparse reactive force into a ubiquitous and increasingly proactive one is among the most important transformations in American politics over the last 40 years. This favor-seeking is centered on getting special treatment and tax breaks. A flat tax will help us begin to scale back that special interest-loving.
But again, we can take off all those deductions, we can take off all that other stuff, and just have a super basic, structured income tax system.
Crony capitalist big government that we all complain about. Everyone would pay less, not only in taxes, but also in compliance, in investment and job creation would skyrocket.
If everyone pays less, then you're gonna have to make it a pretty low percentage. Even if we just go off of the actual tax bracket, tax rate, the lowest is 10% right now. So if everyone goes down, like, you're not gonna have enough money to fund things that we need in the government.
We'd experience a recovery that would grow the tax base.
Especially with the ridiculous spending on defense. That's like half our budget. Half our tax money goes to our offense.
And irony of ironies, ultimately generate more revenue for government. I go into this in much greater detail in my book, Reviving America, but here in essence is how it works. Everyone, individuals and corporations, pays a 17% flat rate. This single rate is absolutely critical. Whenever we have two or more tax rates,
But now you're raising the tax on everyone that's making under, like, what, $50,000. Every single person's tax goes up. Um, and are you also going to include Social Security and Medicare in that? You might be able to fund the government, especially getting rid of the tax loopholes for the richest.
they're like rabbits. They breed. We saw that with the 1986 tax reforms, which consisted of two rates. They've since multiplied to the 7 we have today. Oh, you might argue.
No, 1986 was not the first time that they had tax brackets. Tax brackets, like, in the 50s, they had it up to, like, 90%. Like, their tax brackets have always existed. That was completely misleading, where they're like, oh, they split it into two different tax brackets, and then it just exploded. No.
Sounds great for the rich and even the middle class. But what about the poor? 17% is a big burden. That's why under this plan, a family of four who makes less than $52,800 would pay no income tax. That's double the current federal poverty level. This will let people at low income levels keep more of their money.
Oh, okay. So your tax bracket starts 17% starts at $52,000. It's not a terrible idea, actually. Yeah. Yeah, whenever I had last, thought about the flat tax seriously, that was sort of the system that I was like, this is the only way that I could support something like this. And yeah, I think I'd be on board for that.
And for those that think the rich should pay more, they will. Prior to the passage of the tax cuts that President Ronald Reagan pushed through Congress in 1981, the top 1% of American earners accounted for nearly 18% of federal personal income tax revenue. By 1988, that same group accounted for nearly 28%, increasing 10 percentage points in only 7 years. By eliminating loopholes and requiring everyone to pay their fair share, the flat tax offers a model of tax fairness. More than 40 countries and jurisdictions have enacted the flat tax. When all the facts are considered, the real question is not whether America should implement this vital reform, but what are we waiting for? It's time for another tax revolution. I'm Steve Forbes.
Yeah, no taxes till you make 50,000. Like, all right, dope.
Our YouTube channel.
So everyone would pay less, except for the people that are having an effective tax rate below 17%, due to all the crazy shit. Alright, well, I'm the Loudmouth Liberal, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. If I can get my mouse on the right screen.